This is case study number 1, to demand your provincial MLA or federal MP to conduct an inquiry into. I can't give you all the details in the time allowed here, but I can assure you it is the poster child case in Canada for knowingly abusing clients. Once upon a time, there was a small mutual fund company. This mutual fund company wanted to be a large mutual fund company. They learned that they could make from 9 to 16 times more money by getting their clients to invest in their house brand mutual funds rather than an independent mutual fund. The simple ethical dilemma is this: do you take the easy money and encourage all your trusting clients to buy the house brand because it makes you more, or do you place the investment interests of the client ahead of your own profit? What to do?
It's illegal for a salesman to offer to provide a rebate of a deferred sales charge.
I understand it's illegal too.
And the reason it's illegal is because they don't want to create an opportunity for churning. And churning is when someone does something to have someone change a product that wouldn't otherwise be necessary to change. So if you can reduce deferred sales charge by permitting a rebate, then you're causing someone to churn when he would otherwise not have an interest to do so.
Okay.
And so the law's there for a reason.
They applied for permission to violate the laws against commission rebating. This permission was granted by all provincial securities commissions, although not one will now say what if any public interest was served by letting this firm break our laws. The most ethical managers protested this apparent abuse of client interests, and they were disposed of. So it all comes down to don't rock the boat. Instead of don't break the law, it comes down to don't rock the boat.
Yes.
Even if
that is the impression that I received.
a long-term employee went to the authorities to complain about a shopping list of client abusive practices. He was greeted with less than open arms. He was not helped at all. Instead, he was made a victim. His employer turned on him with legal bloodhounds, making him into a criminal. They invaded his home with a private, secretly obtained search warrant called an Anton Pillar Order. It gave them power to search and seize any evidence this man had to prove his allegations.
And do we have clients of the firm who say they've lost money complaining to the Securities Commission? I'm not aware that we do.
Okay, so that's a good reason to let malfeasance and
Well,
client misdirection, misinformation go unreported because you're saying nobody has noticed it yet?
The Anton Pillar Order even prevented the employee from speaking with the police or any other authority.
Where is any evidence of that investigation? Why is it that you did acquire that information held under the Anton Pillar Order when you know, and you were quite capable of getting that information,
Right.
but you've refused to? Why?
Yeah.
Why did you abdicate it to Ontario when you're saying that the head office for is in Ontario?
Okay.
It is now, since the takeover, but at the relevant time of this, the head office was in Manitoba. Why hasn't Manitoba investigated this?
Without justice, without hope. The employee took his own life after being so thoroughly abandoned. At this point, the employer was scot-free. No investigation took place into the allegations. If they wash their hands often enough, you would think their hands would be clean. Is that the impression you get?
Well, whose hands are whose blood on?
Securities Commission, I
Yes,
think, for failing to
to follow through.
follow
Yeah,
through.
yeah.
Back then, investment firms were selling for 6 to 14 times cash flow. This firm had learned that selling house brand funds would increase cash flow by 9 to 16 times. With this increase in profit, the firm was able to represent itself as a profit leader and sold itself off to a major firm for over $800 million. The owners and the salespeople all shared in the spoils. I wonder whose interests they represented when they sold their mutual funds.
The head of compliance
Heard that name.
at then.
Okay.
He left just prior to the sale. This same fellow is currently the Vice President of Enforcement of the Mutual Fund Dealers Association.
So he's gone from being an industry participant to an industry cop, industry regulator, self-regulator, something? What's the analogy there? What's the...
Well, it's like it's putting the fox in charge of the hen house as far as I'm concerned.
Earning secret commissions is an offence under the Criminal Code in Canada. The Attorney General desperately tries to protect his job and protect the reputation of the Securities Commission that he's responsible for. I wonder why he doesn't protect the public.
Well, I know that we're following up on the allegations made in that matter, and I'm aware of that. So now I know what we're talking about. We're not talking about anything new in respect to any clients of any firm who are alleging that they have lost anything.
This province sent all the material to another province, another provincial securities commission, and the other commission sent it all back. No investigation. We later learn from the provincial auditor that this securities commission did not have the capability to conduct enforcement investigations.
Yes, I goaded, I called the OSC, the Ontario Securities Commission. I tried to goad them, I tried to embarrass them, and all they did was hunker down and ignore it. And that's exactly what I said in many of my writings would happen.
A young, promising investment industry employee is dead after being hounded to his death by legal sharks, without a single allegation being investigated.
I was not allowed to present the truth in court.
And you're punished for telling the truth. One man spends 10 days in jail in Calgary for trying to explain the crimes involved in this case.
They don't want this out in the open because then a smart lawyer is going to say, hey, the Ontario government, the lead regulator, and all you other provincial securities commissions, you're liable for part of these losses too because you gave them the bullets to do it.
Of some 10,000 pages of evidence this man brings to a Calgary courtroom, the court only allows one document to be entered into court.
He said it had nothing in it of any significance. Nothing.
And yet he sent you to jail
for 10 days
for not providing
the name of the person.
The name of how you got it.
Right.
The court accepted his check for $5,000 as a fine for his efforts to tell of this scandal. He's called an unwelcome interloper in Calgary court. This is what happens in Canada when an innocent man stands up to an $800 million crime, when he could not stand by after a friend killed himself over it, when a rich enough person wants it hidden.
He was bullied to death. And collective manslaughter, homicide. I mean, when people don't do their jobs and somebody ends up taking their own life and they're driven to it, that's bullying. I've used the term collective homicide.
I think I found one of Canada's most predatory investment salesperson. I certainly found the most predatory investment firm. I found the poster child of predatory behavior against Canadians. One man has spent approximately $1 million to cover this up.
And what this is doing in the case of, he's slap-suiting everybody who gets anywhere close to it, such that even the regulators are intimidated by what the consequences are going to be on them. They don't want to be in something controversial that's going to be contested.
$800 million has been gained by abusing clients. There's been an assist by securities regulators with this goal. No charges, no investigation. Second assist goes to a legal system in Canada which serves and protects those willing to spend $1 million in legal fees.
I've done my best to bring a lot of this to the public's attention.
Your writing is good.
At every turn, it's like being covered with a wet blanket. Silence.
At extreme goading by makers of this film and others, the RCMP reluctantly sends in a rookie investigator with no financial experience. He closes the file without interview of even half those involved.
Seems like some people, if they have enough money, are able to basically shut down websites, discussion forums, perhaps documentaries,
Free discussion.
newspaper commentary, online blog discussion.
Really?
And it's sort of interesting if somebody has the power to shut down, let's say, 10 critics using whatever media.
Yeah.
Why are they spending such money and energy to shut down this free comment in a democracy if they have nothing to hide?